There was once a man named Adrian who shone brighter than anyone else in the city. Adrian was a prodigy, a celebrated maestro whose symphonies were played in the grandest halls of Europe. He was handsome, incredibly wealthy, and possessed a charisma that drew people to him like moths to a street lamp. But Adrian had a problem. Despite the crowds that surrounded him, despite the lovers who fought for his attention and the friends who laughed loudly at his jokes, his life was a revolving door. People would enter his orbit, dazzled by his brilliance, but within a few months they would fade away. They would leave exhausted, drained, and silent. Adrian didn't understand. He blamed them. He called them weak, ungrateful, or incapable of handling his intensity. He told himself he was a sun, and if people got burned, it was because they couldn't withstand his heat. Yet, at night, in his vast, award-filled penthouse, the silence was deafening. He was the king of a magnificent kingdom, but his throne room was completely empty. Desperate to understand why he was destined to be alone, Adrian sought out a woman known only as the keeper of the hearth. She lived not in a palace, but in a small stone cottage on the edge of a windswept cliff. It was said she understood the secret of how to keep a fire burning through the longest winters. Adrian arrived at her cottage in his expensive coat, expecting a lecture or a magic potion. He found an old woman kneeling in front of a simple fireplace, carefully arranging logs. The room was small, but it felt incredibly warm. It felt like ... home. "I am Adrian," he announced, standing in the doorway, blocking the light. "I have a fire inside me that is greater than any you have ever seen. I am a genius. I am a star. Yet everyone leaves me. Why?" The old woman didn't turn around. She struck a match and lit the dry kindling. "Come closer," she whispered. Adrian stepped forward in patience. "Did you hear me? I am a sun." "That is exactly your problem," the woman said softly, finally turning to face him. Her eyes were kind but piercing. "You think you are the sun, but tell me, Adrian ... have you ever tried to hug the sun?" Adrian blinked. "No, it would kill me." "Precisely," she said. She picked up a cold, hard diamond from the mantelpiece and held it up. It caught the light of the fire and sparkled brilliantly. "You are like this diamond, Adrian. You are hard, you are flawless, and you are brilliant. But touch it." Adrian touched the stone. "It's cold," he said. "Yes," the keeper replied. "A diamond is beautiful, but it has no warmth of its own. It only shines by stealing the light around it and reflecting it back at the viewer. It takes. It does not give." She then pointed to the logs burning in the fireplace. The wood was rough, knotted, and imperfect. It was turning to ash as they watched. "Now look at the wood," she continued. "The wood is not perfect. It is full of flaws, but it is doing something you have never done. It is sacrificing itself. It is consuming its own substance to create warmth for others. It doesn't ask the room to look at it. It simply makes the room livable." Adrian stared at the fire. The metaphor struck him like a physical blow. He realized that all his life he had demanded that people be his light source so he could dazzle them with his reflection. He had treated people as batteries to power his own ego. He wanted their applause, their eyes, their energy. He had never once asked, "Are you cold?" He had only ever asked, "Do I shine?" The narcissist, the old woman said, placing the diamond back on the shelf, believes that love is being admired. But love is not admiration. Love is warmth. And you cannot be warm if you are obsessed with being unbreakable. To give heat, you must be willing to burn a little. You must be willing to be consumed by the needs of another, to turn your attention outward, to become ash, so that someone else may be comfortable. Adrian sat on the rough wooden floor. For the first time, he didn't care about his suit. He didn't care about his posture. He watched the logs crackle and pop, giving up their form to fight the cold. He realized that his grandiosity was just a cold, hard shell. He had been a diamond in a world of people who just needed a fire. When Adrian returned to the city, he did not stop writing music, but he stopped demanding that the orchestra play only for him. He started listening to the musicians. He started asking his friends about their days before telling them about his awards. He learned that apathy is the act of burning your own ego to warm the person standing next to you. The story of Adrian teaches us a painful but necessary truth. We live in a culture that tells us to be diamonds, to be perfect, polished, and unbreakable. We are told to gather followers and likes, to be the main character, but a main character who cannot connect is just a statue in a museum admired by many, but held by no one. If you feel alone, despite your success, ask yourself, are you trying to dazzle the world, or are you trying to warm it? Are you a cold reflector of light, or are you willing to be the fire? True peace and true love is not found in how many people look at you. It is found in how many people feel safer and warmer just because you are there.